Maybe some of you are wondering what the hell am I doing here, or who the hell am I? Yeah, I think we're on the same page. I don't really know who I am. I'm still working on it. But yeah, for now, let's say I'm just nobody, right? Nobody who's working on living from rags to riches, quote unquote, in a way from within, if you know what I mean. The thing is, I just want to know how far I can go and what do I really have to actually offer the world and share with the world. Sounds big, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And frankly, all I know is I'm all about music. I love the idea of singing. And the most thing that I love about it is writing my own songs. So there was a bunch of songs that I wrote myself, but unfortunately, none of them have ever been released up until now. And yeah, long story short, I decided to put all of my original songs on this channel in a simple freaking way. That's only me, myself, and I, and my little of a guitar. Okay, let me introduce you to my husband. This is my husband because we made all children together. Sounds crazy, but yeah, whatever. If I'm being honest with you, it put a lot of courage for me to do this. But let me tell you something. About a couple months ago, I can't remember when it was, not too long ago, I saw a video on Instagram from an incredible random woman, whoever she is. She said that you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. And that line punched me in the face immediately. It felt like, another self inside me was screaming out, telling me to go out of this comfort zone. So yeah, here I am. Also, this video is not only about introducing myself, kind of. I have prepared you a song. I'm gonna sing for you a really short song that I made not too long ago. Right after this, I will explain you a little bit more about it. So for now, I really hope you can enjoy the song, and I hope you... Oh my god, I'm not good at beating around the bush. So why don't we just get to the song right away, and I'll catch you later. To my goodbye people, thank you for coming into my So speaking of which, I watched one of the videos on TikTok talking about forgiveness and some kind of encouraging people to stop being a victim in any kind of situation. And that inspired me to put those words into short melodies. So yeah, as you were listening previously, that was a refrain or a chorus part would say. Well, actually, I haven't thought about how the continuation of the song's gonna be like because, I put someone's words in my song, so I need to be careful on that. Yeah, so much of the words from that video have been part of the lines, and on the process of making the melodies, I was thinking one big thing, and it's for me. But it could be for you too, or for everyone out there who's on the same boat, who's struggling with self-healing or self-recovery, whatever I want to call it, you name it. But first and foremost, I don't intend to tell you what to do because first, I'm not a therapist. I'm just nobody who loves to see things as a self-reflection or self-awareness kind of. And the second thing is, I think we are matured enough to know what we're going to do with our lives. And some people are just feeling uncomfortable in receiving order. Well, it may sound like an order because that's the way how I talk to myself. And if that's so, just take it as a compromise. So you can keep watching this video and still have your own choice whether you take it or you leave it. The ball is in your court. Just relax. Well, where were we? I just wanted you to know that no matter how much people hurt you, you gotta make a promise to yourself that you will no longer hurt yourself. I see a lot of people sabotaging themselves when things get in the way or don't go as planned. And I used to do that too, till not long ago. Also, no matter how bad people betray you, maybe you find yourself have been cheated on, back and forth dealing with gaslighting, manipulating, and among other bad things. Maybe you find yourself have been stabbed in the back by the people you've trusted the most. And maybe you blame them because they're the only reason why you're still in pain, even now. And as a human being, that's perfectly normal and okay to be feeling bad about injustice we encounter in our lives. But when you're constantly blaming and you're in protracted frustration or in excessive anger, what happens if that's true of you? Chances are it will make you think and believe that you're totally the victim and they are simply the perpetrator. And in all honesty, life isn't supposed to be that way. I mean, even if they are, it doesn't make it hurt any less. You don't deserve it. You don't deserve all those feelings to have for long term. You see where I'm going with this, right? I'm not saying what they did to you is okay. What I'm trying to say is it happened and it hurts. But what's the point? The fact is you can't run back to your past to fix it. Everything that comes from them, it's on them, not on you. And vice versa. And if they took something from you, the love, the power, the passion, the home that you built within them, even your safe net, if they took all of it from you, I think the best thing you can do is to let them have it. Maybe they needed it. And it's not your job to ground them about what you deserve and what you don't. I think that's a pointless waste of your energy to figure out. And just because they betray you doesn't mean you never betray yourself. Ask yourself, how many times did you ever make a promise to yourself that you didn't keep it? How many times did you promise yourself to do something like, okay, I'm going to wake up early in the morning tomorrow, but you never kept it? If I threw the question towards myself, that I would say, it's a fucking million times. And of course, it took a long time for me to admit that sometimes I'm a perpetrator over myself. So by acknowledging this, I finally come to terms with the idea of self-healing has everything to do with me. It has nothing to do with them or the people who caused the pain that I think should take the blame for the wounds that I'm carrying. I'm focusing my ball on me. And this is the hard pill that I have to swallow recently. I should take accountability for my actions. I'm the only one that is responsible for my healing journey, for getting back my happiness to the place where it belongs. No one is, and that will always be me. It took me months to finally accept this. I know it doesn't come easy by allowing myself to, let things go in pain, much less I can't stop my mind to keep dwelling on my past. It's like the broken things that I've gone through should be endured and then be done on my own. Though it's not as easy as falling off a log. But I have a lot of things to get done, especially with myself. It's not just about them. It's more about everything that exists within myself. If I really want to heal myself, I have to deal with an uncomfortable situation because I know I can't push the pain away and come with the cognition that there's no way for me to go back to make a man what had broken in the past. I'm gonna take all these feelings without trying to get rid of it. I'm gonna radically accept it, no matter how hard it might be. Fully acknowledge your condition. Genuinely ask yourself what needs to be discovered over yourself. And by then, admit the truth. Even if it's hard for you to take, admit it as opposed to denying. And by going through a healing process, give it a try to build a home within you. Give it a try to know your value. I've seen a lot of heartbreak experiences, and I discovered that the reason why we're always going through pain or same problems over and over again, it's simply because we don't really know who we are. We don't really know our values. We don't even know ourselves, let alone them. Right? I'm not just talking about romance. It's more about any kind of relationships, love affairs, kinships, friendships, communities, all of it. You know what? I was kind of having one of my episodes and it felt like my self-defense. I was talking to myself like, I know myself. I know that I love them and I have given my best to get this far. I know exactly what I wanted. And then the other me said, well, you're right. Maybe you did your best. But are you sure? Do you truly know yourself in all? Because if you know yourself fully, you'll see so many signs that the person is right or wrong for you in the first place. I don't know. I think what they see in you and what you see in them is actually the unknown traumas you both have that looks like a cure for each other. But the truth is the polar opposite. Right after that, I started crying and I hugged myself and said, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe I don't recognize myself. So maybe this is time for me to get to know a little bit more about myself. So yeah, that was how the conversation went. You know what? Instead of blaming them or blaming yourself, why don't you focus on yourself? Why don't you ask yourself, what is it about you that needs to be discovered? What skills you've been missing after all? I truly believe when you can finally perceive what it takes in you and you're making daily improvements to be better and better, space between the words, you're working on yourself to cut off the bad in you. You will see life differently. Cutting off the bad in you doesn't mean you don't love yourself enough, because somehow you don't even love yourself. I mean, the bad things inside you, don't you? I'm kind of sure when it comes to heartbreak, people tend to regulate their emotions through things that can fit their gratifications. They're looking for distractions. For instance, finding someone new with unclear intention just for fun or for their companions so they don't feel lonely. Or they could even do the other way around, like stuck in a rut unnecessarily, being isolated, desperately locking themselves in a dark room for like weeks, months, forever, which is called a coping mechanism. And based on what I've learned, coping mechanism is addictive, and that's the most unhealthy way to rely on. If someone asks me, why is it so easy for him to find someone new? Why can't I do the same way as he does? Well, if you can pause and you listen to me now, do you think when they seek and find someone new to replace you in such a brief interval, so then everything about you is totally over, they're getting over you, moving on like a snap? No, I don't think so. Because somehow, someday, in their new relationships, they'll probably see things as a sign and get familiar with the situation, if you know what I mean. And then what? They might do the same way to the person that they're with, exactly like they did to you. If you don't take some time to learn the lesson after the relationship ends, then I would say 85% it won't make any difference. If you want a healthy relationship, you want love that feels right, but you don't heal, it will be quite hard for you to get it. Because I'm a huge believer that healthy relationship comes from the two healed people in terms of, let's say, love affairs. Talking about healing, I think it's not about time that heals the wound. Healing is not a time thing. It's a work thing. So it depends on what you do with that time. As far as I can tell, you probably have to put your goals on the back burner for a while in order to work out the issues you have in need of solving. Like I said, healing requires a lot of work. Trust me, it may take you a long journey to recover. Don't expect that this is going to be like building a castle in just one night. No. Either way, you have to work on yourself a little bit harder. If the question is, how did I do to discover myself? I read books. I listened to positive podcasts as much as I can. I learned new things. I sharpened my axe, as it were, by planning ahead so that I can make the most effective use of my time. I create something. Also, I've been doing some spiritual things. But for real, it was not fucking easy. Okay? I got the ups and downs alternating in a short amount of time over and over by myself. Even now, I'm still dealing with it sometimes. However, this is me trying. Anyway, the thing is, I put myself first. Instead of wanting someone to do something for me, I do it myself. Instead of wanting someone to validate me, I validate myself for everything that I have achieved or going to achieve. Instead of wanting someone to hug me and listen to my corny, dorky story, whatever, I become the first one to hear my own story and give everything I need as a feedback. In the end, I get to the point where I finally realize that I can't change my past, but I can still move forward without any of those things are haunting me whatsoever. One of the best quotes from Taylor Swift about life, she said, "You can't carry everything in your life all at once. You have to choose what things to keep and what things to release." Just like other people, I do believe everything happens for a reason. Even I don't know the reason. Maybe someday. And I'll tell myself how grateful I am because something that I hold on to for so long and so hard that increases toxicity in my life is something that I'm grateful for to let go. Only remember this, everything that is meant for you will be yours. Everything that is not meant for you will never be yours, no matter how hard you try. And speaking of forgiveness, I think before you forgive someone, forgive yourself first. Maybe for not knowing what you didn't know before you learned it. There were times I mind giving advice to certain people, even if they ask for it. I think it would be better if they took the time to learn their lessons on their own. I got one of the best lines about detaching yourself from victim mentality. The best revenge is none. Heal, move on, forgive, and be happy. When you're healed, it isn't supposed to be 100%, okay? Even if it's just 75 or 80, whatever. The thing is, when you feel so much better physically, mentally, emotionally, like you get a deep breath to travel light. One of the best to celebrate is you can go back to this video and listen to my short song once again and sing it. Don't forget to mean every single word in that song, like you're talking to yourself directly. Well, the last thing that I want to say is this song is actually for the people I loved that I let go for good. But keep in mind, there's no anger here, nor blaming or anything, but compassion and integrity. However, I'm so grateful for everything that I've gone through. If it weren't for them, I wouldn't be who I am today. In hindsight, I realized that they taught me a little bit more about myself. Well, I think it's enough. I really hope you can take away something from this video that can be beneficial for you. If you find this video way more interesting for you to watch, it's basically for you to keep. So keep it to yourself. Oh my god, this is the longest video I've ever made in a lifetime. Of all the kind people on this planet, thank you so much for watching. It's Wichan and I'll take my leave now. Look forward to my next secret project.